Welcome back to the second part of the Don and Gino Real Estate and Finance Show. That's right, every Saturday 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. and we're really excited. Hopefully you listened to the first segment because today is a special show. Every once in a while we get a gift of being able to interview some of the top professionals in the entire nation, and we have a new segment called Interview with the Giants that we've started to help share with you some of these great professionals that have changed our lives and could change yours. And a person who has definitely changed my and not just, making you feel good or trying to, make you want to listen to who we're listening. This person literally changed my life over 20 years ago in this industry, which is the mortgage industry, because I was desolate and about to get out of the industry. In fact, I did quit for a while, and then came back. And this man, Todd Duncan, changed my life because he said, Don, come with me and I'll share with you how to duplicate yourself and build your own business. Not do it all on your own, but build a business. And I'm going to give you all the tools and the mentoring and the inspiration to do so. And you've done that. And today we have Todd Duncan, who's basically been doing this almost 30 years. He's an originator himself, so he knows where we come from. Okay. But also he's a coach and a mentor. He's got, we'll throw up the pictures. This is Todd Duncan himself, you're going to see. He's got his website, his books. He's written over a dozen books. Todd, I didn't know. I read most of them. I didn't realize how many there were, though, Todd. But you have literally a dozen plus books. It's now showing up on our screen, just so you know.
I actually saw the list, and I was like, oh, I missed a couple.
17.
I've read probably 80% of them, though, and I'm like, wow, that's a lot of books I've read.
That's good.
So, a national best-selling author, mentor, coach, you name it. He throws on an incredible event, the biggest event for the mortgage industry every year, called Sales Mastery, 26th year coming up, that guides and re-energizes us every single year coming up in October.
We need it, don't we? Every
year.
I think that's what we're going to talk about a little bit in this segment, is that we take a beating in this business, and that we've talked about in the last segment that we've got to change, and that we got to reinvent ourselves, and we have to change, and we have to adapt or die, and we find ourselves in this position in this industry more often than we'd like, I think. And this year is no different. We're encountering some adversity. So we said that you've got to adapt, Todd, but what are we having to adapt to? What's different about the market this time around?
Yeah, so I think there's clues from the past, and they're certainly elevated because we are further down the line from a technology standpoint. I heard a stat yesterday from a chief technology officer for a fairly large company that he said 65% of the world's data has been created in the last 14 months.
Wow.
You think about what's happening with, iPhone technology and Galaxy and Google and phones, and how much data there is with videos that we're doing and pictures we're taking and posts that we're making. And it is a new world, and the force of technology on our industry is going to be very real. It's going to be disruptive in its own very nature. And yet with disruption comes opportunity to harness the power of technology, right? So the biggest changes that are happening right now are changes around artificial intelligence, changes around blockchain technology, things that have to do with which positions in the industry are going to be changed or modified, what emphasis is going to make on the industry when an underwriter can go from decisioning in a half an hour to decisioning in 2 minutes, and all those kinds of positive things. The consumer experience can get enriched. How we collect data. I did a digital mortgage app yesterday in 9 minutes, and in 9 minutes, the digital app had my entire financial profile. It had my brokerage statements, it had my banking statements, it had my employment statements, it had everything. It did not have me in a place where I would choose a mortgage, or that I had advice from the originator at that point on what mortgage I would go with, but it was like, wow, that's happening. And it's a lot of lenders are way behind. We had a meeting in Hawaii 4 weeks ago for our leadership group, and we had about 27 different lenders there, and about 90% of those guys admittedly are behind the curve on implementing technology in the business, right? So technology is going to be a friend if you use it right. It's going to be a foe, a disruptor, an annihilator if you don't pay attention to it. So what's the other change? The biggest change is the consumer behavior around buying real estate and getting mortgage financing is changing. What is the most relevant change? The most relevant change is 10 years ago, the real estate agent would refer the buyer to the lender. Today, the buyer is searching out the property before the agent is selected. And if the lender's doing their job right, the lender is sourcing leads before they check out real estate and before they check out the properties. That whole thing is changing. But here's
I will tell you something I stole from my wife, that as I'm watching behavior, right? I'm saying, you know, I felt like before you were either in the market or out of the market. Like you're either shopping for a house or not shopping for a house.
Yeah.
She's always shopping for a house. She didn't even want to move, but she's always shopping for a house.
Because it's so easy.
But that's the thing, it's the new dynamic. It's on her phone. Anytime she sees a sign, she wants to know how much it's worth. Sometimes I come home, she's just shopping for a house. That's entertainment.
That's why HDTV has 7 different show brands on real estate, right? Because people are always thinking about real estate. So, Gino, what you just said is a changing behavior. So I think the business plan of the future is going to change. I think we're going to move from a lead gen kind of business to a real clear one-to-one referral business. I think that's happening, but I think it's all going to be based on the client experience. What we know about 75 million people called millennials is they are technology first, and then they are data second, and their relationship third. Once the relationship happens, because the data and the technology is done, they will not depart from the relationship. So everybody doing loans today and everybody selling real estate today has to know that the buying behavior's changed. We're not changing all this stuff just because we need to change. We're changing because buyers have changed the way that they are going to buy real estate. Guess what else is changing? Sellers. You look at the Zillow announcements, you look at the Redfin announcements, you look at all these things that are out there to buy your home, okay, and give you cash within 48 hours, and then have you approved for a loan and close 8 days later. I mean, that stuff is being talked about. You know, LE can go out in a day, CD can go out in 2 days, okay, and 8 days later, we're funded.
We do quite a bit of that, actually.
Yeah.
We do a lot of that.
That's helped our company grow, is that technology allowing us to be able to perform in that manner.
What is super important, though, to convey to your ecosystem at the Don and Gino show, the most important thing to connect with is worldwide and in America proper, there is absolute data to say that in a high-price transaction, which is what we do, right? Real estate agents and lenders are involved in high-price transactions. There is data, irrefutable data, that the largest percentage of the population needs a relationship and not an app. They'll use the app, and that will define the relationship. They will not use the app and fund without a relationship. And and by the way, that stat from the Edelman Trust Barometer on their 28 global markets survey says that 92% of the world in a high price transaction values relationship over technology. Technology is right behind it, and those two go together to create the ultimate client experience. But let's face it, you know, unless you're an investor and you're on your 22nd property, you need advice. And even then you're going to need advice from your tax planner and whatnot. So I think we're safe to say that even with the technology coming and kind of really, not even slowly now, but rapidly coming into play, what I believe the future is about is a connected relationship, listen carefully, where technology amplifies humanity. That's what's going to happen. Technology will not replace the advice-centric agent, will not replace the advice-centric mortgage company. It will amplify how those two individual units do business together. Super powerful.
I have to agree with you.
By the way, I'm sorry, we're going to talk about all that at Mastery. We have 2 futurists that are going to be with us at Mastery to unveil this for everybody.
All right, and if you're interested in find out more about Sales Mastery, you can go to Sales Mastery 2018. Just look it up. It pops up everywhere, and it gives you the full agenda, the speakers, the value proposition, the dates, and all that. It's in October 10th through the 13th. Going to be absolutely amazing. In San Diego. A bummer we have to go to San Diego, Todd.
Yeah, the worst, horrible Southern California weather.
Yeah, sorry to. Yeah, thanks for bringing us there. It's good stuff. It's good stuff. All right, so we have 2 more segments with Todd Duncan. Again, my mentor, friend, coach, one of the biggest coaches and mentors in the entire mortgage industry, is giving us some great advice. When we come back, we got 2 more great segments. One of the segments is going to help a lot of you, regardless of what industry you're in or how it affects you, is how to deal with adversity. Adversity is a challenge all of us have to deal with. Life doesn't just go, in a bowl of peaches the rest of your life. You have challenges. We all do. It's how you handle that makes all the difference. And Todd's going to share some ways he helps me and Gino and a lot of his mentorees basically get through this, and how he shares this at Sales Mastery. So don't go away. These last 2 segments are going to be phenomenal. So stay tuned to the Don and Gino Real Estate and Finance Show. We'll be right back.